Bar. That's the answer.
That's the answer.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the QUB Esports podcast. I am joined today by my co-host, Dynasty Mark. Hello.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. It's been a while. Episode 1, then there was definitely another episode of what I did. And now I'm back again. Because...
Don't forget about the debate.
Oh yeah. The very, very special debate, which I hope everyone's seen the VOD of. Because it was very important.
Yep.
This will definitely not be up by the time the voting closes. So make sure you vote. Alex, I'm speaking to you. I hope you already have.
I will. I think I have. I actually think I have.
Well, you better go double check at the end of this, because you better. So...
But yeah, our guest for today's episode is Alex, also known as InfernalDaze. Say hi.
Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, my name is Alex. I'm a Twitch streamer as well. Second year software engineering student at Queen's.
Unreal guy.
So, yeah.
Unreal guy.
Awesome.
You're also the Smash Bros. Officer of the Discord. So, I'll take you through just a couple of questions, get to know you and stuff like that. Just have a general chat about your streaming career, going through Smash, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So you're the Smash Bros. Officer for QB. So
yeah,
your time here, like what would you say your biggest achievement you've had at QB would be?
I've been at QB. Probably being able to start my streaming career. Because see, in first year, obviously we were all online, which sucked because first year university, most of it, the big highlight of it is meeting people in person, But in our first year, we were all online. So what I started to do was live streaming from home. And because that wasn't the first time I live streamed. I used to live stream years ago, and most of the time, obviously, 0 viewers will be sitting there playing Minecraft, 0 viewers. A lot of times might be 1 viewer, but that's just me on another account probably. But after that, it was whenever we were first year, I started probably taking it seriously, and I think that's just sort of when it sort of started getting a bit popular. And I think at the time I was also hosting like little presentations and like quizzes, like quiz nights for people to know you. And I think that if I was to say accomplishments, I would say making those, because that combined with the streaming, that's what sort of got my name out there. And that's how I got to meet like so many amazing people today, is making those quizzes and all those game nights and hosting them over Discord. Yeah, I'd definitely say that would be an accomplishment, because it really boosted the streaming like phenomenally from doing that, and such a boost of confidence as well. Like it was really, really cool.
Them quizzes you did, were they for the stream itself, or were they?
No, they weren't.
Something in your free time.
It was something I'd do I think it was every Tuesday or every I think it was every fortnight, every 2 weeks. And it wasn't to do with streaming. It was just random quizzes, general trivia and music quizzes and game nights. It was mainly just to get people to know each other, because we're in triple ECS, where a lot of people social skills are not great. All right, we kind of get thrown in the dump in terms of what course we do, but that's sort of why I set it up, just to give people an opportunity to meet and whatnot. But no, it wasn't associated with the streaming at all. It was just something also to get my name out there. And once that happened, it just, a lot of people would associate that guy as just also the guy who also streams,
Yeah. So did you have any hopes or goals for yourself whenever you started playing for QUB?
To be the best. It was always to be the best at Smash, because I knew I wasn't at the time, and that's sort of what drove me to be, because I felt like, okay, I'm the officer, I've got to have a responsibility to be, if I'm talking about Smash a lot, I need to back it up, and actually be good at the game. So, but I knew I wasn't the best, and I'm definitely not the best still, but I'm getting there, and I'm hoping I can maybe be the best.
It's like Smash is like one of them games where it's like I picked it up maybe like a month ago, and I can't. It's the same as like you're like really good. It's the same as Mario Kart, right? you think you're based on the single player, and then as soon as you touch online, no,
No,
they really put you in your place, and it's just I just find it extremely hard to play, but it is fun. I do have to admit.
Yeah, I like any fighting games. Like I remember there was a place that had a Street Fighter cabinet, like the big arcade cabinets. I used to play on it all the time, but I would just like get my big hand and just smash like all the buttons like over and over again. I had no clue what I was doing, and I thought I was amazing at it.
Yeah.
But no, that was terrible.
There's so many
Um,
ways to cheese it as well. If you just click like the same kicking button over and over again, you're just untouchable. It's great. It's great. Like I love it.
So, how did you get to become the Smash officer? Like, how did you get your name out there and like reach out to people to get that?
I think it was Ronan that messaged me about becoming the Smash officer, and I think if I remember the message, it was like, you are you are basically the only person that that plays this. Oh my god, there are not many people that are in the society for Smash. It is really, really small, which is really annoying. I wish more people would play, but it's just sort of like it's definitely one of the it definitely gets trumped over by the FPS games like CS:GO and Valorant and whatnot. Smash is just sort of one of those small ones. But I think I remember Ronan messaging me and just being like, I think you're the only one that mainly like plays this and is dedicated to this. Do you want to be the officer? And I was like, hell yeah, I'll be the officer, 100%. And that sort of involves me now. If there's any events coming up, or anything going on, I remember there was. I'm sure we'll talk about it later, but a couple of months ago there was a Dragon Slayers, which is another society in Queens, obviously, which I think is it the biggest society?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Are we second?
I think
If not, we're close.
I think it's Dragon Slayers.
Palmsock?
Yeah, QCS probably as well. And then
Yeah.
because I think, well, mate, if you go off what Discord says in that school hub, we're second.
Yeah.
Or third.
A lot of their the other societies members. I know Dragon Slayers. For this, a lot of it comes from alumni as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
they stay on.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Definitely right there.
But I remember they did a little collab a couple of months ago, and I think it was one of the first, like real life sort of local events that the QUB Esports have hosted. And it was brilliant. It was really, really amazing. And there were so many switches set up. So it wasn't even dedicated just to Smash either. They had a whole bunch of like sort of board games and stuff that was going on. And like Mario Kart 8 and games like that. But so being the officer basically just involves me helping set those things up. And if there's anything going on, any tournaments that are outside of Queens, letting people know, because we really need more players, man. Like there's so few people. But hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, it's probably harder because with Smash being a Nintendo only game, that makes it harder. It's the same way if you look at there's any like FIFA. It's another thing that's small purely because anybody plays it on PC are a bit not right, and but like, it just doesn't make any sense to play it on PC. So like, it's kind of like that as well. So it doesn't help. I mean, I think it's such a I won't say it's a hard game. It's probably easy as soon as you get into it. There's too many buttons. All I need is a W key and mouse 1. But like, no, it's something that I want to get into more. But was there apart from the Dragon Stars one, was there any other tournaments that went on that people participated in, or like yourself, or
there are tournaments that go on monthly, and also I think bi-weekly. It's the biggest one is the Big Fish. The Big Fish is a thing that happens. It's not run through the QUB Esports, but there's a separate Discord for just people in Northern Ireland who like to play. So Big Fish is hosted in the American Bar, if you guys know it. It's quite a bit. It's quite a walk from city centre, but they basically have the whole upstairs booked out, and pretty similar to the local event we did, and Students' Union. Tons of switches. People just come along. You put in maybe £5 or so, and that's just the prize pool. And they're actually really dead on because if you don't have to. you don't have to pay a fiver to get in. If you don't have it on you, they don't really mind. They're just happy you're there. But it is cool that they do a prize pool. But there's that one, and I think we could probably link their Discord in the description of this, I'm sure, just to get them out there, because they are definitely the biggest, because that's just a general Northern Ireland sort of Discord. So that's what most people are doing. But yeah, the Big Fish is definitely the biggest one.
That's such because it's probably because with it being such a small minority, it's probably hard for them. Did you play in it or?
Yeah, I've been a few times. That's where I met Yamchad, the Ken player who beat me in that local tournament I was talking about. That's where I met him. I played him for a few times. That's when he kicked my ass, and I was like, "Holy shit, this guy's really good." But yeah, I played it a few times. I've gotten decently far, but then again, that was a good few months ago, where obviously still improving. But
Like
good fun.
playing Smash, like how often would you play it, and how do you even like train for Smash? Is it just through playing games, or
Literally through just going on online matches. That's basically all you can do. But there's such a big difference in playing Smash locally, offline, and playing online. There's such a huge difference, because Nintendo are notorious for having a terrible online service that you need to still pay so much money to use. But it's notoriously terrible, and there's a big difference with playing online and offline. There's a huge difference, and I remember going to a tournament for the first time, and even whenever that countdown goes, so obviously the match starts, it goes 3, 2, 1, and go. Instantly, you can just tell that it's so different playing locally. You can move so much quicker, and it's such a huge difference. But I don't really have there's not many people, again, that I know that play it locally, and it's just sometimes hard to meet up, especially over COVID, because that's whenever I started playing Smash, was the start of 2020. So that was literally just before sort of quarantine happened. So I was playing online, and obviously I couldn't really meet up and play locally. But that's my main way of practicing is online, and then I get my ass kicked when I go to an actual tournament in real life. But
so what other games would you play like competitively for first? Like is Smash the only one that you would probably grind out, or
in terms of competitive, like obviously you've got other fighting games, but shooters, I do quite like shooters. I'm not great at them, but I really do quite like, sort of the teamwork. FPS shooters like Overwatch, I really enjoyed back in the day. Fucking amazing. Like, I mean, I love CS:GO a lot. But Overwatch I find it's just brilliant, because it's just sort of in between, just it's sort of like Valorant as well, because it's in between CS:GO and Overwatch. Like, I find those really fun. It's just the teamwork aspect I really enjoy, in the communication. But I've been playing CS:GO recently. I picked that back up. I got gold number 1, which I was pretty happy about. I know that's definitely really low compared to you two, but I got gold number 1, so I was happy with that.
I've never played CS:GO.
You haven't played it?
Nope.
Have you played Valorant?
So I've played Valorant a couple times, but every time I've went to play it, somebody else will jump on, like Kieran or like somebody else on the server,
Yeah.
and they'll have like a much higher rank, and then I'm just sitting in the corner crying for most of the game.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
But I do enjoy going into the the training grounds, practicing
Yeah.
clicking heads. I just
Yeah.
do that when I'm bored now, but I don't really play FPSs at all.
Yeah. You should try surfing on CS:GO. It is so fun. Like, if you're just the sort of guy to like to load up a game mode just to chill, and you're not really taking it seriously, surfing is so fun on CS:GO. It's just, you can just talk to people if you want and just chill. It's really cool. I did that so
Oh,
much over lockdown.
is that the casual one where you kind of play Cisco, but you're just more just chatting shit and playing, really?
No, it's the one where you've probably seen footage of it over like YouTube videos. Like, I remember fucking Leafy is here. He used to always put surfing in his background. But it's the one where you have like a knife out, and then you just jump and you sort of slide down ramps and shit. You've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
You've definitely seen
Yeah,
it.
it's that one.
It's the one. Yeah, I think I realized when you said Leafy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a throwback. Enough.
It's the one with like I don't know, the walls and stuff. They're like just lines or something like that, aren't they? Like
Yeah,
they're
and you can
not.
just sort of slide off them and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah. I
But
know what you're talking about.
Mark,
Uh,
you've played it, right?
Oh yeah,
You've
like
surfed.
there's sometimes those surf maps where you get really really close to finishing, but you get that frustrated at it. Especially, but
Yeah.
I would be more of like a bee hopper more than a
Oh
surfer.
yeah, I remember you. I think I
Yeah.
remember you saying that
Like I
before.
just like crank up the sensitivity and just bee hop like around the map. It actually surfing and bee hop helps a lot with movement. Actually, it can do. So
It does, and aim I find as well.
yeah, because
100%.
especially with being able to move that quickly. But I've more recently like I purchased something called Refrag, which is like a proper like external server practice tool that I've been using. So I've shown away from surfing that, and now I'm onto different stuff because right now I'm on a 10 loss streak, and I do not want to talk about it. I have lost 200 elo, and I think I'm going to be retiring and going to Valorant. So yeah, as you do.
Nice.
I'm back
Good
to
shit.
Rocket League.
Actually, I want to play Rocket League more. I really do.
It
Like,
is
you
really fun
can.
with friends. It's really fun.
Yeah, like but one thing I can't play. I can't play freeze. I can only do twos. Like I think
But
I was diamond in twos.
Diamond, I thought you said you were champ 1.
Absolutely not.
Did you not?
No.
No.
Do you play on a controller or?
Oh yeah, no controller. The only
Yeah.
thing I tried I set up like the key or like the controller bind so that like I can like rotate the car, but then my brain just doesn't know how to flip it. So there's half the times I'm like I don't understand like because in terms of like whenever you're like air dribbling in the air and then you're rotating the car around, I can't do that because I meant to turn it right and then but then I'm going left and then going up and then going down. Like I don't know, my brain just can't do it. I don't know why.
Mhm.
I
I
suck
can't
at the aerials. Like I
Like,
can't do the
can't.
aerial shit.
Although
Like
I'm
I
a
haven't played it in
god.
years, but
Yeah.
I'm champ. Well, my peak's champ 3, but I'm champ 2 at the minute.
gee.
I will
I've barely
never.
been. Yeah, I've barely been playing it recently. I got um something crazy like 800 hours in one season or something like that.
Bruh. The
Yeah,
fuck? That's
it,
nuts.
it was insane. That's when I went from like plat 3 or diamond 1 like the champ 2 in one season. And since then, I don't want to touch the game anymore. um, yeah, it's just I've hit my ceiling in it really, and I've been playing Osu instead.
I saw that you were playing that.
Yeah,
You were
I've seen you
streaming.
playing it actually.
Although I noticed you weren't playing the normal clicking the dot one. You were playing the drums. That makes sense. You were talking about
Yeah.
me about drums earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, it's all coming together. Holy
That's
shit.
the last time.
I mainly play Osu
Yeah.
which is like it's basically DDR, but like on your keyboard.
Mm.
And the reason that I started playing that is like I grew up playing DDR. Like I had DDR for the PlayStation 1 when I was younger. I had the mat and everything. That's probably the game I played most when I was younger, besides Club Penguin.
Oh,
Nice.
brilliant game.
Nice.
Brilliant game.
Nice. Big fan.
Can't beat it. I
Um,
heard the people who own, the Club Penguin rewritten thing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That got like a week ago. Like I think people got arrested. The people that own it.
Disney were like, nah.
Disney took it down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did the
took it down.
Nintendo thing,
Yeah.
and
Which is
they do
unfortunate.
everything.
Which is really unfortunate. I mean, I didn't play
really
it, but it was
sucks.
still.
I did.
I
Oh,
did
did
play
you?
for a while.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Fuck, it's so fun, man. Like just with friends to go on it.
I feel bad for the devs on it, because you know the way Flash got deprecated last
Yeah.
year?
Oh yeah.
The dev had to rewrite the entirety of Club Penguin in HTML5 instead of Flash.
Mhm.
So like each week he would have made like, you know, a new feature in Club Penguin rewritten. The week before they got shut down, they had just finished Cardjitsu, like bringing that back, which is a lot of that. That was about a year's worth of work or something.
That's
And
so
then a week
annoying.
later, it gets taken down. I feel bad because they've put so much time into
Yeah.
rewriting the entirety of it.
Yeah. I'd like.
Um,
Here's
well, so
here's
they
one
did
thing.
illegal.
You see, whenever going back, whenever you said about Rocket League, how long is one season? If you said you got
I
800
was
hours
wondering
in it,
that as well.
how long's one season?
So it's usually about 3 or 4 months, but there was a longer one because of lockdown.
Oh, because I was about to say on CS I have 1,100 hours, but that's been since 2015. So the fact that you got 800 hours in one season is mad.
You know.
Across all consoles, so I got Rocket League in 2015 as well.
Yeah.
Across all consoles, I have 2,500 hours.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
That's really mad.
I've got 2,000 on PC, 2,000 on PC, about 100 or 200, no, about 200 on my Xbox, 100 on my Switch, and then I have a bunch on Sideswipe as well. So yeah.
Really?
I
Why did she play it on the Switch? Like, I think I downloaded that as a joke because, like, it's such a bad quality. It genuinely is horrendous.
The input lag on it is actually awful as well, but it was like whenever I went on holiday or something, so I could still play Rocket League while away.
Get it? Dedicated.
Oh, here's one thing. Have any of you done Apex Legends on the Switch? Because I always see it in the store, and I really want to play it just for like the crack.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I can't even believe that's a thing. Holy.
And then there's rumors that COD. There's a rumor that COD is gonna come to it as well. Which could you imagine, right? If let's say the next COD they bring the Switch and then cross plays enabled, and then Switch players get put up against PC players. Would you imagine how that's just bullying at that rate, which will probably happen?
Christ above.
Crazy like.
Yeah. Well, to get back on the questions here,
back on track.
Yeah, I was taking a bit of a detour. I think we should talk about your streaming career.
Yeah.
Because you seem to really enjoy that.
Mhm.
So, like, what is your content? Like, what would you usually stream?
I would say, well, I started maybe about a year ago, right? And that was obviously during, mainly starting to properly take it seriously was about a year ago. Every single week, it would be a Saturday, and it would always be a horror stream. So pretty much every single popular horror game that you know, like Resident Evil, Outlast, Pacify, all the Phasmophobia, all those sort of games. Because I'll be honest, I kind of hate horror games because I'm a pussy and I get so scared. Genuinely, I have a little heartbeat sensor that I put in my streams, and it's always like 180 resting. People are like, "Did you need to see a doctor, man? Like that's not good for your heart." But like, I'm a complete pussy when it comes to horror games. But I also kind of sort of love it as well because people just really enjoy like watching my reactions. Like I think that was the big thing that sort of brought people in, was because there's so many compilations and clips out there of me just screaming my lungs out at a simple jump scare. And people just seem to enjoy it. So I just started doing that. I remember Outlast being definitely a big hit, and some of the Resident Evil games. That was sort of what started it all. Now I've sort of taken a step back from the horror games, mainly because I've played mostly the main ones. But another reason why I did horror games is because obviously if you're playing old horror games, people that are interested in that, if you can filter it on Twitch and have a look at who's playing Outlast 1. That game came out 2015 or something. I'm not too sure, but it's such an old game now that not many people are streaming it. And since I'm sort of giving it like a bit of a spotlight, if no one's streaming it, I'm gonna be the top of the leaderboard of people streaming that game. Obviously, Mark, you would know as well from streaming. That sort of was good as well. Just the fact that I was playing niche sort of horror games, that really helped build the channel as well because random people would join. And I remember this Five Nights at Freddy's one, the VR one I was playing. There's so many people tuned in just because they love the game, and it is a spectacular game. I'd advise everyone play it if you have a VR. It was a spectacular game, but so many people just joined in because it's just so like kind of niche. Not many people stream it. But definitely horror games is what started off. And of course the notorious Sambuca Shot Saturday.
Love it,
which is also my brand, I think, at this point. Which if you didn't know, I do. I think it is breaching terms of service on Twitch, but
definitely
we'll just
breaching terms of service, but it's kind of
funny,
funny,
we'll just stick that under the rug. But I do shot Sambuca for subs. And just randomly throughout the streams. And that was something as well which got a huge surge of popularity at the start. My God, people would take the absolute piss at the start. Because I mean, I used to do it for donations. So people would just donate £1 and be like, okay, do a shot. And I got to the point where I'm like literally telling people, like, please, like, do not donate anymore. It's torture at that point. But yeah, Sound Like a Shot Saturday, that's definitely what I'm known for. that and the horror streams, that sort of amplified the horror streams as well. You know, what's better than watching someone, you know, piss themselves from a horror game than a really drunk dude pissing themselves at a horror game, you know?
And then I seen you were doing a lot of Elden Ring recently as well.
Oh, I've gotten it. That game is fantastic. Have you guys played it?
I want it, but like I'm trying to I said to myself, right, I bought Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, and I'm gonna play them all in order. It's been like 4 months, and I'm still struggling with Dark Souls 1. Because I was like, yesterday, I was like, you know, I'm actually going to sit down and play it, and I got to the point where there was at least 40 or 50 entities just chasing me, and I was just trying to just run around to figure out where to go, and I was like, I definitely not a high enough level to go into here. I'm just so confused with it. So
Elden Ring, man, like that's what I'm trying to go away from the hard thing and try doing some different games. And I've picked up Elden Ring, and I'm not a really big RPG guy whatsoever. Like even in Elden Ring, I don't really follow the plot that much, but just the exploration alone, man, like it's Skyrim level exploration. It's absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really bad at it as well, which is really cool. So like people like watching that. But I'm really bad. But the thing I like about that game is because I've tried Dark Souls 3 and I was not good at it, but the game didn't really give me much. You know, it didn't sort of give me any other ways to beat bosses. You know, if I'm just bad, there wasn't much I could do. You know, I'm just bad at the game. But see, Elden Ring, you go up against that first boss, you can try and beat him if you want, but you're not going to, or you might if you're unbelievable at the game. But it builds the game around you're not meant to beat this boss. You're meant to just run off somewhere else, whatever direction you want. It doesn't give you a single direction. It just says go away, just do whatever you want, and come back when you feel ready. And that's what I think. I think Elden Ring is so good for, man. It's just you do whatever you want.
yeah, like yesterday I was looking up the like the Elden Beast fights, and I'm like, Christ,
it looks really cool. It looks really cool.
It looks really cool. It looks so intense.
Yeah, it's just a lot of the lore. There's so much lore as well about the different Elden bosses as well. But do you know what the cool thing is? You know the way there's like 100 bosses in that game? Like they're all really different and unique and creative. You only really need to beat about 6 of them. There's only 6 of them are like canon to the story. So they're the important ones really if you want to beat it. But I think I've only beaten about 2 of the main bosses. I just like going off and beating all the easy ones around the map.
I will never forget on Dark Souls 3, I couldn't get past the first boss, like literally the first one that you have to get past to get further. I then went and I asked QUB Love on how to beat it.
Really?
Yeah. And then actually like 10 or like 20 people give genuine responses, and then the next day whenever I tried it, I just beat it like immediately. And then just went all downhill from there. So
what was the thing holding you back?
It was just
how'd you beat him?
Everyone said just stay as close as you can to him. And as soon as I did that, he just couldn't hit me. And then I just got it. Like just like that. Like something as easy as that. Because I thought, oh, you need to like do this and this. But if you know how to play it, you just need to be really, really, really aggressive with it.
Some of the hitboxes for those bosses are funny. You can just abuse them. If you just run around their feet, you can just abuse the hell out of them.
Yeah, it's the same way you just go up. You just go up to like a top tower, jump off, and just rinse and repeat that over and over again. Yeah. I've cheesed it a few times in terms of that in that regard. So
yeah,
Alex, do you play it? Or
it's not my kind of game. I don't really play single player games, to be honest.
Would you mainly be like all sort of like just Rocket League and horror and well Five Nights at Freddy's master as well?
Yep.
That's another thing.
Believe it or not, I've never actually played Five Nights at Freddy's.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait.
I'm really
so. You were talking right before we started. This man was going that he can at least talk about the lore, and he has the books, and he hasn't even played. Really?
Yeah, I've never played it. I read the books. I watch like all the like theory videos. I go on Reddit to research it all the time. I've never played any of the games.
Surely there has to be a reason though, like because they are.
I just don't see the point because like they are fun. Yeah, I just kind of don't see the point when I can just see the playthrough, and that's kind of how I am with most single player games.
Yeah.
I don't really play them because I can just watch the playthrough for free.
Yeah. No, I sort of get that as well. I love watching reaction videos as well. People playing games.
I honestly thought you would have played it once, and then like that's actually amazing.
Fake
fan.
Joking.
I've went to play what was the free one that came out a couple years ago? Pizzeria Simulator.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that one.
And I started playing it, like, I installed it, loaded it up, and then I watched it being played so much, I could just predict, every single thing that
Oh
was
yeah.
gonna happen and stuff, so I was just like, "Nah, this isn't fun." So,
Yeah. No, you have a point with that actually.
I have a very bad approach to gaming.
This man knows the lore about everything about, let's say, a certain game, and you ask him, have you played it? Be like, nah. this man this man knows everything.
I know
He,
it too well.
I know. Like, Alex, here's another thing. In terms of going back to what you were saying at the very start, in terms of that Dragon Slayers tournament, you were in the final, weren't you, of it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I came second, which Banner likes to laugh at me a lot for for being the officer and not coming first. But yeah, I came second.
Like, who was it? So how many people were at it at the time?
There were so many people, but in terms of people that entered the bracket, maybe 16 people, I'd say, or close to 16 to 20, I think. Yeah, I'd say about that number. And I didn't really know any of them besides besides just a couple of them, because none of them are really in my were in my year. They were just sort of random people. But there, like I said earlier, like there's so many people there just to play the card games there and all the other Switch games. But towards the end, and I remember this from the final, everyone stopped what they were doing and they were pretty much all just huddled around the TV while me and him were playing, and they were all cheering us on and stuff. That was really cool. Can't lie.
Didn't Roe play in it as well? Didn't he enter the bracket, or?
I feel like he might have, just for the absolute piss take, but I don't actually know. I really can't remember. I definitely didn't go up against him. I think I remember that.
So I think I remember correctly. He got absolutely smashed in it. Like, if I remember correctly, like he just got he really got his ass handed to him. Honestly, if I remember correctly, and then that was back in February. That was a while ago as well, because I remember.
Really, February?
Yeah, it was back. I think I remember it was back in February, and that was like the first proper in person sort of event for it. Did you do anything in terms of helping setting it up, or?
Yeah, I went a wee bit early. I went a bit early just to help set things up. I remember because Monster sort of sponsored those sort of events. So we just had to sort of. There's just so much that just everyone could take from. But we just helped up set up a lot of the rules. I had to set up the rule sets actually for the switches, because someone had tried to set them up, but they weren't really like competitive rules. So I had to go on the switches and set those up. But I think there were about 4 switches, maybe 5 or 6. No, probably 4 or 5. And it's just a case of you just bring your controller along. And if you don't have one, then someone will always offer you theirs. But it was really cool event. I loved it.
What would you say was your favorite moment of it?
Definitely finale. Just people just because I'd never gotten that far in a tournament before, and there were definitely a couple of people there that knew what they were doing. Like, I think they were in that Northern Irish Discord that I was talking about earlier, and they obviously go to the big fish quite regularly, so they knew what they were doing. And I think I actually nearly lost a couple of matches as well, because it was sets of 3 basically. It's not just a one and done; it's a set of 3, and then only the final was a set of 5. So, but
Stakes were high.
Best of 5, sorry. But yeah, definitely the end. Just because I'd never had that before. Just people were literally, because I was playing the underdog basically character. I always play Jigglypuff. That's sort of what I'm known for. I don't play any other character. And Jigglypuff is terrible, just really really bad in Smash. And I think people were just cheering me on for that reason, because I was obviously losing and using a not so good character. But yeah, people were cheering me on and stuff, and it was just really cool to see. And there were like so many close moments. Me and Yamchat both probably should have killed each other a few times during the matches, but it was just a slippy control. It was genuinely, what's the phrase you say you get? Spaghetti hands? Literally, there's so many times a match should have been ended. Maybe that's what it is. But literally, we couldn't. The stakes were so high.
I honestly do not know why I said
spaghetti hands.
Yeah, spaghetti hands, and I'm like,
I
I turned around and I said, "Oh yeah, it is," and I'm like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah, no, spaghetti hands.
But
I've
Butterfingers
never
probably
heard
doesn't.
spaghetti
Oh
hands.
well, if it means anything, I've never heard Butterfingers before. So
Have you not?
What?
No, you're
no, I've
taking
never heard that before in my life. No, but yeah, spaghetti hands. I like spaghetti hands better. So, but yeah, we were both getting that, and it was terrible, and it was being live streamed as well. Oh, another really good thing about that event, I got to commentate as well. No, I didn't commentate the whole thing. I just sort of Rona just sort of let me hop on the live stream and give it a go. But that's the first time I've ever tried to commentate, and it's definitely harder than it seems.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I thought I'd be fine, yeah, because I just a lot of times just go ahead and speak constantly. If I'm, in live streams, you always sort of got to be talking. And I thought it would be as easy as that. It's just another live stream. But no, God, it was actually really difficult. Just knowing what to say and whatnot. And
A lot going on as well.
yeah, you
At
got to
the
speak so quickly. You're saying something that's gone on, but then halfway through that point, something else crazy is going on, and really difficult. But that was a highlight as well because it was just super super fun to give it a go.
Yeah,
if you
yeah, like I find that with CS, whenever I done the first cast for Legion, where it's like it's just you just need to constantly speak, and then you always have
Yeah.
to be on the ball with what's going on.
Yeah,
So I get what you mean, like.
because you don't want to be boring as well. Because a lot of people tune in to competitive matches, not even to see the gameplay. It's just to sort of hear the caster because they know what they're talking about typically, or at least you'd like to hope so. Anyway,
Yeah.
they know what they're talking about, so you kind of rely on them to keep you up to date with what's going on.
Have you ever watched the Legion F1 streams?
F1 streams?
Yeah, Legion started like an F1 tournament,
Oh
and
no.
they whatever caster they have, I forget his name now, but their caster for it, or the commentator, he is insane.
I've been told he's really good. Actually,
The way if you watch proper F1, like yeah, they'll commentate, on the let's say top two, battle for first. But on actual F1 commentary, they also keep track of let's say the battle for 15th between two people, like if somebody's about to overtake. He does all of that. He will keep track of the whole race, no matter what position, for any
That's
overtakes. It was actually a couple of us watched it the other week live, and it was actually just entertainment. Even if Queens wasn't even in it, I probably would have still watched it because it was
awesome.
just pretty fun to watch.
That's really cool.
Queens actually did pretty well in it, I think, as well.
Did you know? I know I haven't looked in a while, but I remember whenever I was applying to Queens and just looking at different UCAS courses and whatnot. There's Ulster University have an esports course,
do they?
and I think yeah, and or at least they did at the time, and they also had something for casting. Just commentating. Now I don't know if that was the same thing, the same course, but I'm really not too sure. But I was just thinking that's the first time I've ever seen esports as a acknowledged uni degree. So it's obviously relatively new. Now I don't know how far that'll get you, a degree in commentating, but I don't know. I don't know if they're still doing it, but it was definitely at Ulster.
There are a couple of unis in Ireland that do it, and also a good few in England that do it as well.
Belfast Met too.
Belfast Met do, yeah.
They're probably the most known ones, I think, for it. So they have their own big proper course for not as a side degree. I think everyone really would assume that Belfast Met are the proper ones to do it in terms of what they have
Maybe-
LAN centres and everything.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it's Belfast
Could be.
Met.
It could be. I think Ulster
I
do
really
do
don't
something,
know.
but I don't honestly know. But I know Belfast Met's the main one here.
Yeah,
That would do something like that.
dude.
You did. I was going to call you that as well. Yeah, that's
Shut
no
up.
good. It's purr, man. It's purr.
I'm sorry, it's my bad. You need to tell I don't do casting or anything like that often. I'm just a backup,
And you can see why I don't do casting, because I would be the one to point that out.
Yeah. During the middle behind, 10 trying to be like, haha, doo-doo.
I would love to, if we can, chat about Nintendo controversy shit.
Okay.
Is that about the street? No, what is it about? I actually haven't heard. I
There's
haven't
so many
actually heard
things,
about
man. I
this.
know so many
There's
things.
so many things. There's one thing in particular I want to bring up, and it's this YouTube channel that I think I told you this already, Alex.
Isn't it? Is it the theme song stuff?
Yeah, he used to sample Nintendo songs, and
Yeah.
then Nintendo came and
Gilver Sunner or something like that, I think his name was.
Silver Gunner.
Yeah. Oh no, but it's like I think it was literally. I think his name is Gilver Sunner. Like I think it's sort of
Oh, okay.
like one of those.
But Nintendo went and took down every video, and it was like 2,000 of them. Like his entire career for years, like just all got taken down.
Ridiculous, man.
Did he get them
They,
back?
they,
No.
But
probably not.
the other problem with it was the you know the way you get given like the copyright strike notice and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Cease and desist.
The name on it didn't match up with like the usual Nintendo, copyright strike claims.
Yeah.
So people are thinking this is like some guy or team of randomers that pretend to be Nintendo and got
Yeah.
them taken down.
That's weird.
That
Well,
would be
see, even gonna be
devastating.
honest, if anyone's gonna cease and desist you, it is gonna be Nintendo. Like the cease and desist is just something they do on a regular basis because they are scum. I just genuinely and that's the thing. A lot of it's sort of like a big joke in the sort of Smash community and people that play sort of Nintendo games, is that as much as everyone hates the company, because everyone does, because they are so scummy. As much as you hate them, you're still gonna buy their games every single year. And
Yeah.
it's so stupid because they do make great games, but they are just so bad. Like I mean, there's that whole thing. You guys heard of the Smash Melee?
Yeah.
This came out maybe 20 years ago, on the GameCube. 20 years ago, really old game, but people still play it because it's one of the fastest paced Smash games that there is, and that's why people love it so much. So that it doesn't have any online compatibility anymore because I all got taken down. But there is an emulator called Slippy, and that is what people have been using now, and it's sort of actually brought the game back to life. This emulator, so everyone's been playing it. And there was a tournament that was on for Slippy, and there was big prize fund and whatnot, and it was getting the game back to life. And then Nintendo just cease and desist it. Just sent the cease and desist, so it was just completely shut down. Anything to do with it. They also what else did they do? Oh yes, and while I'm talking about that, there was a Splatoon 2 tournament, which I don't really. I used to play Splatoon 1, but there's not many tournaments that go on for Splatoon, so that's cool that there's one going on. And Nintendo actually hosted it for like the first time I'd ever heard of them hosting their own tournaments because they just hate their gamers clearly. But they were hosting a tournament with a grand prize of $25, which is so good. Obviously, $25 for
Yeah,
first place.
Like
So.
literally $25.
And basically one of the teams renamed their sort of like how they entered like the name. I think they called it like Slippy and things like Free Melee, basically just bringing it to light, like why is Melee being dumped on here while people are really enjoying it. They had their names associated with that, and then just Nintendo just cancelled all live streaming rights for that tournament because of that. And also, so that completely killed the tournament. But the people that actually won while the tournament still went ahead, and obviously no one really watched it because it wasn't live streamed. They didn't even get the money in the end. They didn't even get it, and it also wasn't even $25. $25 of store credit. So like,
Oh my
they're
god.
just ridiculous, and they didn't even get that. Like, they're ridiculous. And they obviously that YouTuber Attica that we all know that passed away. I think 2 years ago now. From suicide. There was a campaign basically for making the little Joy-Cons for Attica. So he passed away, and they were just making Joy-Cons with sort of his brand on them to raise awareness for suicide and things like that. And then obviously a cut goes to charities. But no, Nintendo completely shut that down after.
Really?
Because they were like, nope, we don't want that happening. And yeah, they're so like, I don't know, they're just so stuck in the past that like they just don't allow people like enjoying their games competitively. Like they just don't acknowledge any competitive scene at all. And it's really weird because it's free publicity, like, and for some reason they're just so backers of a company, they just don't provide those things. I think Evo is one of the biggest fighting game tournaments of all time, and I think it's completely been taken out of Evo this year, which is a really big shame as well. I did the newest one, not Melee,
Yeah.
Smash Ultimate. It's just been completely taken out of it as well. So they're just all over the place, man. But like I said, saying all that, will I still buy their games every year? Yeah, I will. But it's still ridiculous though. And their online service is horrendous as well.
Yeah, like you never see Sony or no, or like let's say Infinity Ward with what, like the IW4X mods, the Modern Warfare
Yes.
2 mods with PC and that.
Yes.
You never see them.
Plutonium, yeah.
I like Plutonium's the number thing that I use, and you never see them being taken down. Like they actively encourage people to use it because they're better than their own
Exactly.
services. But I don't know whether it's because Nintendo are like a primarily like kid friendly, like family friendly company that they want to encourage casual play. I don't know what it is. Like, and then they never explain it.
No, they never do. They never do. It's just so weird. It doesn't really make sense why they do it, but I don't know, man. But they literally send cease and desist letters so often, like it's ridiculous.
Yeah. In terms of Rocket League for something like that, like you've probably heard of Bacchus mod for Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is basically the mod loader for Rocket League. The guy who like maintains that and worked on it, called Cinderblock, Psyonix just hired him. It was like one of their main
Ah.
devs. Like he's been modding Rocket League so much just to give it, extra features and training packs or seeing your MMR and stuff like that. And like it's pretty much been the standard for everybody to have with Rocket League for the past couple of years. So Rocket League hired him as a dev, and like most of the stuff that he made in Bacchus mod has just been put into the main game now. They just accept
That's
it as
really
like,
cool.
yeah, it's just better off this way. Like that's the way that like, a company should be.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Holy shit. No, if Nintendo were to do that, to be brilliant. If they like acknowledge the people that were, that play their games and whatnot, but they're so bad for it, especially like playing their music and whatnot. I think we touched on that earlier. Playing their music is a big DMCA issue. For some reason they don't like that. I think for a while they had actually banned any recordings of any Nintendo game off YouTube. You weren't allowed to record it. You weren't allowed to live stream it. For a while. I think that was years ago though. I think that was back in like 2011 or so. And then obviously someone had their head screwed on and went, why are we blocking any footage of this? Like this is going to seriously affect our sales of the game. And then someone with their head screwed on clearly made that decision to change it. Which, I mean, thank God for that. Like, could you imagine like a game company that wouldn't allow people to record footage of their game?
Speedrun
what?
wouldn't really exist, or well, I'm
Yep.
gonna guess it was because of like the music. So like would have been allowed muted.
I literally I don't even know. I can't even remember. But that's just so silly. It might have been music, but it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There was a question I did have, and I completely forgot to ask it. Is it like I always thought with Smash, right, that all the characters were the same. It didn't matter who you pick, but is there some that are like far more overpowered than others, or like
One so like there are some characters in Smash which are just abysmal and they're just a piss take. Like example is like Little Mac. I don't know the game he's from, but you might recognize him. He's that green boxer.
Oh yeah.
With the gloves. He is just sort of clowned upon because he's just really bad. Like as soon as you get him off the stage, like he's just dead. He can't make it back. Especially with Puff, that's how you know if a character's bad. If Jigglypuff is able to beat them, and if it's a good matchup, then they have to be terrible. So like some characters are especially good over Wi-Fi, and that's why playing Wi-Fi and locals are so different. You can abuse the hell out of some characters online, because they do moves which you can't really react to fast enough with the latency, and that can sort of just make a character go from, B tier, pretty decent, to just high tier because of just online. But yeah, 100%. Even locally, there are characters which are garbage compared to the other ones, especially the DLC. They are so good. Like how many DLCs have we? Maybe 12 characters, and they are all like most of them are just top, like high tier. Probably because they probably do that on purpose though. Like they bring out these characters that you need to pay for,
pay to win.
and they make them good. Exactly, literally.
Yeah.
Like you just make them really good and give them all these fancy things.
Has a character ever like had to be nerfed, or they always like released
Oh,
in
there's yeah, 100%. There's patch notes all the time that come out. Well, when I say all the time, within every few months or so. Definitely, there's been patches here and there, and also buffs, which is really good. And you can actually go and view the patch notes, which I know a lot of games don't show, but Nintendo are kind enough to show the patch notes. I think the most recent one, I don't think it's going to be updated anymore because the game's it's at its final update. It's had its final character a few months ago, so I don't think they're really going to update it anymore. But they actually buffed Jigglypuff, which was good. That's the only thing I really cared about in it. But yeah, there's definitely patches that come out every few months, which sort of help stabilize the game, just fix any just sort of stabilization sort of things, quality of life.
You mentioned the DLC characters, and it's like the one thing that I can't wrap my head around in Smash is just like how do they even get like these characters from other games? Like for example, Minecraft Save. Like
A
how
lot of money, a
just a
lot of
lot of
money,
money? Is that it?
because
They just
that's like they're from such different and such niche games that a lot of people don't haven't really heard of. Um, but I think they're pretty smart with their DLC choices. Like, I remember people joking about Minecraft Steve being added, and I assume you'd probably heard if someone had said to you like a year ago or 2 years ago, Minecraft Steve in a fighting game, like how does that even work? Still it's bizarre, and especially to buy it off Microsoft, like it just seems a bit weird. Um, so yeah, it's crazy how they do it. Definitely a lot of money. They had to buy the newest one of Sora. If you've ever played Kingdom Hearts, I believe Sony owns him, and I don't think there's any other Sony characters. But there's a lot of I remember there's a lot of sort of conflicts with things because sometimes they're not really allowed to buy characters, because it just like for example maybe if they had picked Sony or if Microsoft in the past, they might have had a deal go and say, we don't want you to have Sony characters, because obviously that's competition and whatnot. So there's a lot of conflicts, but how they did it, wow, like it's crazy. I'm still, as much as I hate playing against Minecraft Steve, as much as and a lot of people hate playing against him, I'm probably the most excited about Minecraft Steve being in the game because it's just so cool the fact they were able to do something like that,
yeah.
turn a sandbox game character into and actually transfer their toolkit into a fighting game. That is bizarre, and that's really really cool.
I've never like seen his gameplay. Like, where is its like animations or attacks or anything like that? Because
They're pretty cool. His whole concept is basically holding down the B button, which just mines the ground basically. So you can walk about and he mines, and then you just go to your crafting table, which always spawns on the map, and then you go over to it. And whatever you've mined, there's like a little mineral bar, so you collect like stone and iron and whatnot. Whatever mineral you have, like most recently picked up, you just craft like a sword. So if you get diamonds, a diamond sword is stupidly overpowered. But his toolkit's fun. Like he has like a side special. He brings out like a minecart and whatnot, and his recovery, his up B is like the elytra comes out. The item that makes you fly. Uh, it's really cool how they've done it. As much as I hate the character, like playing against him, it's really cool that they were able to do something like that.
I went and looked up. I really wanted to see if how much Nintendo paid for it. But IGN put an article said that they were in negotiating for about 5 years to try and get
Really?
it. That they estimated about that. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's a whole really cool thing about playing Smash is like so many people obviously want these characters, and there were votes done years and years ago, but whenever they interviewed the people that put the characters in, they would have told you like we planned on getting him in 2018, like literally years ago, and they literally they got released in maybe 2020 or 2021, but they planned on getting them all in years ago. So it's really cool. But I wanted a few characters in. I really wanted a Sonic character, another one, because at the minute Sonic characters are not really good in that game, or they are. They're just really annoying. But I wanted that, and I kind of wanted Crash Bandicoot as well, because Crash Bandicoot makes a lot more sense than Steve. Like how because he basically has that spin attack and he has like a double jump, and it just kind of works. But they never got him in, so oh well, shame. And Waluigi, of course, never had Waluigi.
Yeah, which is strange actually. The fact that
They must have some like vendetta against Waluigi because there's so many games they just don't include him. But I'm surprised because most people wanted Waluigi, and he never came out. But maybe that's again just Nintendo sort of like ignoring what people want. I'm not sure.
it's just Nintendo.
Nintendo doing Nintendo things.
Nintendo's doing Nintendo things.
So like through your like history of playing like Smash, I probably asked that question. Nice.
I know there's a segment on Justice. I think.
Another thing to fucking.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a good bit on like other fighting games, like Injustice.
Yeah.
So
you take some luck.
Yeah, I'll you know what, I'll work it in. 'Cause, like, so
Cool.
so you honestly you do Smash quite consistently, but
I
Injustice.
do Smash consistently. Yeah, I
You
do
do.
Smash consistently.
I don't. I play Rocket League.
He does Rocket League, but Alex smashes.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you get up to in your spare time is none of my concern. Like, so, but Injustice, which is a game I've never played before, but I heard is like it and Mortal Kombat are like probably the two other
really big.
The two other really fighting games. I think was there not a DC one as well? Or is that Injustice?
Injustice is DC.
It is DC anyway.
So all the DC characters like Batman and Superman and whatnot. Yeah.
Would you play that quite regularly,
I used to.
Oh, used to.
I would hop on it not very recently because I got Xbox Live again, so I've been playing it, getting back into it. But Injustice is definitely what got me into fighting games, 100%. I remember playing Injustice 1 years ago, being terrible at it, like really, because I was really, really young when it came out. I think it came out in 2013. I was just terrible at it. I didn't really. I enjoyed playing it, but I wouldn't play it online or anything, and I didn't really take it very seriously. But I remember playing Injustice 2, and a lot of my friends. No, Injustice 2 came out 2017, I think. No, 2018.
Yeah, 2018. Yeah.
So it came out in 2018, and a lot of my friends got it, and I only got it because they got it, and we were in school at the time, and we would be playing online, and I had got it most recently, so it obviously wasn't going to be the best, but I just found myself quickly sort of like being the best out of my friend group, and just sort of being really, really good at it for some reason, and I didn't really know why, but I didn't really pay much attention to it, but and I remember having a sleepover with those same guys, and we had the Xbox set up and we were playing Injustice, and I remember I logged onto my account and someone had said to me, he was like, he had a look at the leaderboards and he was like, Alex, do you know that you're like top 5,000 at the game? Where I think it was 15,000, and I was like 15,000, and I didn't really think much of it, but then I was like, that is actually kind of high, and that's what my friend was saying. He's like, that's actually pretty good if you don't like take it very seriously. And from that point on, that was just the beginning of everything. That was just me finding my niche in fighting games, and I actually from then on I tried really hard at that game and put so much time into it over 2018 and 2019, and I ended up being like top 500, which sort of is the only, like, that was probably my biggest accomplishment in general in fighting games, because it just showed me that was sort of my area in games. Everyone has their preferred preference of games, RPGs and shooters, but I think I feel like I have a brain for fighting games, if you get me.
Yeah.
But it was Injustice 2 that just was the beginning of all that.
What about Street Fighter as well? Because I know Street Fighter and Tekken actually, which made another thing. I remember I started with Tekken. I think it was Tekken 4. Terrible at it, and then Street Fighter, terrible at that, and then started Mortal Kombat. Now I just couldn't get the swing of it. But did you ever play them?
Mortal Kombat would be the closest thing to Injustice 2, because they're both owned by NetherRealm Studio.
Mm-hmm.
They would be very, very similar. Mortal Kombat. I remember I played a bit of Mortal Kombat X, I think. I did enjoy it. It definitely was fun, but I'd sort of found the golden game, really. I was Injustice 2 through and through. And I think actually I was talking to Yamcha, the guy who came first in that tournament, and I think he also has a background in playing all those games, like including Injustice. He's played them all. Like he is really good at those fighting games.
Yeah, because Street Fighter is one of those ones where it's like it's one of the more older ones. Aren't they releasing
Yeah.
a new one? 6, isn't it?
I think they might be. I don't know if it's gonna be exclusive to anything, but they might be. I don't know if I'm gonna get it though. My fingers are crossed for Injustice 3,
Mhm.
and I would be over the moon if they brought that out. Like genuinely, I'd be so happy. But I don't think they're going to be honest. I really don't think they're going to, because they haven't announced it at any like conferences, like NetherRealm conferences or anything. But it was a really popular game because obviously DC is huge, and Injustice 1 came out quite a while ago and it was pretty big. But Injustice 2 had its own like season pass thing, similar to Smash. You know, it had all of like really cool DLC. You know, it got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as DLC.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was one of the last ones, and which is really cool. And it also had Sub-Zero. That was probably one of my most fun DLC characters. Sub-Zero, obviously from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
He was really fun. Can't lie.
Yeah, because
Really
I know the only thing I have involved with Street Fighter 6, which I'm looking over there in a minute, is that whole controversy about their logo design, which was something like I heard about it, and then it wasn't until I read the article what we have from Eurogamer there where I'm like, that can't be a or it could be a coincidence, right? But it's like, I'm pretty like, of course, I mean, speaking about also with that gym that you go to as well has a logo that looks similar, but that's from a stock image. It's the right.
The writer's gym.
The writer's gym is saying it's
it's like
oh yes, it's similar to. I've seen that. Yeah,
it's literally the exact same, but because it's a stock image, you pay the rights to it. Which obviously I think who makes Street Fighter? What's a company? I forget the name.
No, it's not. Is it?
Is it? It might be Konami. I don't know. Well, whatever that company is, probably didn't pay because it looks I think far too similar. Which I mean, unless they didn't, I don't know.
Capcom. I thought it might have been Capcom.
Oh, yeah. Capcom.
But Arga's involved in it as well. So
because I was looking through it, and then it mentioned the fact that they are so similar, which I think is a coincidence, but I don't know.
I had to look at it, and it just seems like I don't think so. I think it's definitely they were up to no good there. But I think I saw someone, and the guy wants a cut. You know, the person that made
like he doesn't mind selling the rights to it because he knows he's gonna make a fuck ton of money on it if that's the case. Like, so yeah, no, it's
that reminds me of what Nintendo did as well. They took a photo. I don't know what it was, but they were advertising something for Mario, and they just found a photo of Mario on the internet, like a 3D render, and just put it on their poster. And it was made by some dude in Blender like years ago, and he was like, "Why is my image being used?" And I don't think they ever acknowledged it. They just swept that one under the rug. But that was weird. They just took it, like completely downright copied it, didn't change it at all. Which is weird because they have so many photos of Mario. So
yeah, which to be fair, I think you would have thought they would have made the character. They probably would have picked one that they made. We do, however, Alex, have one more question here for you. Right?
Cool.
Your tier list time. So, a couple of the writers actually gave us some stuff. So the ones that I think that you've played, that let's say we'll go with, if you want to rank them in terms of like the ones that you played the most and the ones that you enjoy the most. Right, we can go.
Okay.
So we'll go Super Smash. You have played Street Fighter, haven't you?
Not Street. I wouldn't know the characters, but I've given it a go. But it wasn't really my bag.
Let's say we'll do Super Smash. We'll do Smash, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Tekken, and then Brawlhalla. If you've ever done any of those games, in terms of you ever had to list them, what one
just
would be?
As the game? What I think the best games would be?
Yeah. What do you think the best games would be?
Probably, I'd say closest to my heart. Maybe not the best one, but closest to my heart, Injustice 2. Just because it's literally what got me into it. I would say Injustice 2, and like it definitely wasn't the best one because that game is notorious for people sitting back and zoning, which is just throwing projectiles just literally, because you know it's one of those scrollers where, like a 2D scroller, if someone walks back, the camera's gonna follow them. So they can just keep walking back and spam up projectiles, and it's the most annoying thing in the world. So I wouldn't say it's the best for that, but definitely because it's close to my heart, Injustice 2 is my favorite. out of that list, I would say Injustice 2, or sorry, Smash Ultimate is the best one there. It's one of the most popular, definitely over here. In Japan, like probably Tekken's probably the most common one. I mean, they got a Tekken character in for Smash. It's one of the most recent ones, Kazuya. They just got the Tekken character in. So it's really big in Japan. But yeah, I'd say that, and then maybe next, I'd say Brawlhalla is actually quite fun. Have you guys played it?
I've actually played it. I played it. Of course, Banner's gonna be shaking his head. He hasn't played it. But like, it's I have played it a few times. I have to admit, it actually is quite fun. I have to admit, I'd actually get into it a wee bit more.
Brawlhalla, it's definitely fun with friends. It's basically like a free version of Smash. Basically, it is very similar. But I'd say after that, or no, I'd probably put Mortal Kombat above that, just because it's just a lot more of a fun game. I find, like, I just prefer sort of the 2D sort of fighting. Maybe Mortal Kombat and then Brawlhalla, and then I haven't given Tekken a go. And Street Fighter very little of. Yeah, but yeah, I'd say that.
Absolutely,
I think.
Augers from the man himself. Is that us, Banner? Aye. What's a crack? Anything else you want to add?
I think we have one last pretty important question here. What do you view like the future of fighting game esports to be? Do you think it's promising? Do you think it's dying? Like, what's your opinion on this thing of it?
As much as I'd like to say it would be growing, I really don't think it is. I mean, I think it's sort of dying out. I think a lot of people are just getting bored of the same formula of just one person on the left side of the screen, one person on the right side. That sort of 2D fighting games, I think they're definitely getting sort of not really played anymore. I mean, back in the day, whenever those were new and those were the new thing that everyone was playing, like everyone would love them. That's why Street Fighter was so big back then and had such a competitive scene. But definitely, it's definitely going downhill, I think, and especially if there's companies out there which are literally like they're trying, like, the fans are trying to make the games popular and bring a competitive scene to it, and companies like Nintendo are just downright saying no and just canceling it for no reason. Like, it's really not good for the people that play it. So as much as I would like to say it's getting more popular, I don't think it is, unfortunately. Just because there's so many new things coming out that are attracting the attention of people, and I think they're just kind of being forgotten about, which is a shame. But I feel like there's definitely a lifespan there for the games. I mean, Smash came out 2017 maybe, or no, was it 2017?
I don't know wherever it's been. I don't think it's
No,
older.
It was 2019, I think.
Could have been.
It was 2019.
I'm actually going to look that up because I'm actually curious myself whenever that came out, actually.
I think it was like December. No, it was. Oh no, I think it was January 2020, or I don't know, something like that.
2018, actually.
Was it
December 2018? Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. I started playing in January of 2020.
Ah, right.
So I was really late to it because I didn't have a Switch, so I was really late to it. But again, it was sort of similar to the Injustice thing, where I was just noticing I was just like being like pretty good at the game and enjoying it a lot more, and that's why I started taking it seriously as well. But I definitely think there's lifespan there. I mean, Smash, its latest DLC came out, a matter of months ago. The last DLC, it definitely has a good few years on it. Because I mean, look at Smash Melee. That game came out 20 years ago, and people are still trying to play it, I guess, and do tournaments. But that's still really, really, really popular. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think the next few years and the next 10 years or so, if there's not something that drastically changes how fighting game engines work, I don't think it's I don't think it's pretty. But yeah.
And just to finish this off, Alex, do you wanna plug your Twitch channel?
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Twitch.tv/InfernalDaze. A lot of people ask me why I have that name. I was in a clan in like 2012 on Xbox 360, and we called it Infernal. And why did I pick Daze? Because I used to play Pokemon a lot, and there's a Pokemon. He had a move called the Night Daze, and I would just spam that move pretty much every single match. And I went, fuck it, go for Daze. And I've literally had that name for like nearly 10 years now. So yeah. But yeah, if you do check out my Twitch, I always appreciate that a lot. If you stopped by and said hello, I stream every Saturday or Friday if I can't stream on Saturday. But
Some book a shot
yeah.
Saturday, baby.
Yes, I'll do a shot for you if you stop by.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know if I'll regret saying that, but sure.
I'm a loyal subscriber to the
I
channel.
appreciate that.
am too,
These
actually.
boys are subs, and also of course check out these boys' channels as well. Of course,
You absolutely should.
Dynasty and Banger.
Even though I don't really stream anymore, but but yeah, thanks for coming on, Alex,
Of course, it was brilliant.
and thanks for hosting as well, Mark.
I would
And,
turn around and say vote in the elections. This I can guarantee is not going to get put up by then. So
When
yeah.
are the elections supposed to be?
Monday is the
Monday.
AGM.
But the voting closes tomorrow, actually. So
Damn.
definitely no chance. So you'll probably know by Monday who is your new committee. And
We could be celebrating. Should we get the like clips ready of us either celebrating or consoling you, and you can just edit in the right one.
I'll edit in the right one. Aye, why not? Sure.
Right. You want to do celebrating first for Mark's victory?
Yeah.
I'll celebrate.
3, 2, 1. Let's go, Mark!
Yeah,
Let's go, future president!
And then what's the other one? Loss?
Consoling you. Yeah, I lost.
Okay. I'm right.
Oh, do we really have to record that? I don't think he's gonna lose.
Oh.
But should we record it anyway?
Oh, that's favoritism.
3, 2,
Maybe.
1. Unlucky Mark.
Oh,
Get him next time.
Oh, no,
Well, I can't get him next time because I'm graduating.
Unlucky.
You should have just done better.
Fuck. Well, as you do.
Just win. Like, it's easy.
It's not that hard. Just win.
Win.
Seems like a skill issue.
Ratio. L.
Mark got ratioed by votes.
I just took the biggest L off the planet there. Oh well.
Wow.
Oh well.
Take the elbows out.
Too many L's in this establishment.
Oh,
What are we doing with our lives, eh? What a way to end it, eh?
I don't even think I did like a proper goodbye.
No, we didn't. I mean, sure, we might as well do it now. Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you in like a month or whatever. If we're doing another one, I have no damn clue. We'll figure it out.
Good luck for exams.
Yeah.
Good luck for exams. Good luck for everything. You don't need you don't need grades whenever you have esports. So
yeah.
oh, unreal.